I'm building a gym. Eating crap does not build character. I'm bleeding so much less than I normally do after I cook. Hi, I'm going to give you a little tour of this area here, and I'm going to describe what I'm planning to do with it. I am indeed planning to turn this into a gym. It's going to be an outdoor gym, which may seem a little bit strange, but I think when it's all said and done, it's going to be perfect for me and my son and how we like to work out and what our plans are. I'll take you on a little tour here. So as you can see, I got this deck behind the house that is just a complete and utter wreck. In fact, the siding and the whole house itself is a wreck. It's livable, but not a whole lot more than that. The fact that it's still in that condition is largely my fault. But then, that's the way it has been and is, not the way it's going to stay. It's all part of me getting unstuck. And we'll talk more about that later too. So for right now, let's take a look here. So behind the house here, I've got these French doors on the back side of the house. A lot of nastiness, mold, and junk on the walls here. I'll be cleaning that up shortly. The whole deck back here is a wreck. At one time I was selling this property on contract to some folks, and the whole deal went very, very poorly, and the property was horribly mistreated. This used to be a gorgeous deck back here at one time. It was later dismantled so that we could do some work back here, and then it was put back together in the state that you see now, and then painted this horrible brownish color by the folks that we were selling on contract to. As you can see, I've been storing some junk back here, just some old aluminum gutters and downspouts and things like that. There's some aluminum soffit stuff back here. Most of this is garbage now that I will repurpose. Some of this stuff may actually still be good though, so I'll see what's there and make some decisions on what I'm going to keep, what I'm not going to keep, what I'm going to repurpose, and all that kind of fun stuff. So I'll get all this junk off of here, haul this stuff to where it needs to go, at least for temporary storage. I'll get my sawhorses out from back here, get that chunk of plywood out of here, get all that stuff, all this junk that's back here, moved to where it belongs, and then I'm going to pressure wash everything. I'm hoping that that outlet is fully functional. I'll be properly testing it pretty soon to make sure that it's good to go. And once I get all this cleaned up and everything squared away, this stall these stall mats will be put on that deck back there and cut to the appropriate shapes and sizes and all that good stuff. And that'll be the surface on which we put our gym equipment. So let's get started on it and see how it turns out. Fixed it. A little bit of glue, some chewing gum. Good as new. I'm kidding, it's a backup rig. Down to my last rake.
Getting all cleaned up?
Getting there. I've broken 2 rakes so far.
What?
I broke 2 rakes.
We had 2 rakes?
We had 3. We're down to our last rake.
How? I mean, like, really? I'm impressed.
I have to go to Lowe's for a rake run.
Dang it. Don't get yourself killed.
Huh?
Don't get yourself killed.
I shall endeavor to not die. So here's a little bit of backstory about what's going on here. About, what was it? About a year and a half ago, I started losing weight. It was about that time that I realized that I had largely recovered from depression and anxiety. And it happened, I was in Afghanistan working, and where I was at, the training was fairly rough. I was on a base, but even an improved base over there, there's plenty of uneven terrain and things like that, and I was walking everywhere I was going, so I was getting more exercise than normal. The food was unenjoyable, so I was really not eating as much as I normally would, just because I didn't want to. I was getting healthy enough food. I was getting what I needed quite adequately, which is pretty much always the case when I'm traveling. So I was more active than normal. My diet was better than it normally was. I started losing weight, and I was really looking good. It was really making a difference. After that trip, I continued to stay active when I was home. I was doing projects, I was working on things, and that increased activity was making a big difference. I maintained my diet properly, and it was enhancing one's physical fitness, their physical health, is an addictive thing. It feels so good. And when you start seeing results, it feels so good that you want to keep going. Unfortunately, last October, some rather unfortunate life events took place. Had a death in the family, had a very close friend, my son's best friend, died, very young man. Major health crisis of my best friend had a heart attack, and all of this happened very close together, in conjunction with another trip to Afghanistan and some other stuff. I actually didn't have to make that trip. My teammates and the company I work for were adamant that I did not have to make that trip, but I insisted, and I did it. I'm glad I did. No heartache over that. But overall, life stressors, real ones, major ones, not the self-imposed BS kind, came into play, and it took a toll. Did it have to? Perhaps not, but I'm also not going to beat myself up about it. Yeah, so things went badly, and I gained a lot of weight back. Also, my activity levels dropped dramatically. Even throughout that time, even with the recovery, the emotional health recoveries, and things like that, there were still other lifelong habit type things that were going on that I needed to work on. I'm a recovering nice guy. That's something else I'll talk about in another video at another time, but that's something else that I needed to work on. I needed to figure out. I needed to deal with. I had some stuff I had to fix. I say all that to say this. I was stuck. I was stuck in a place that was not nearly as bad as I had once been in, but I needed to get unstuck. And that's where I'm at right now. I'm getting unstuck. That's a big deal. Now, if you're not familiar with the stuck, unstuck idea, that's okay. If you want to Google it, you can. I'll probably talk about it more as time goes on. There were life changes that I needed to make and have started to make. I'm only talking about it now because I'm seeing that I'm not only planning to make it, but I have started making it. I have started making these changes. I can see where I was stuck, and I can see the muddy tracks where I have started to come out of that stuck place. Otherwise, I wouldn't even talk about it. Nobody wants to hear, I'm going to do this, or I'm going to do that. You hear me saying that all the time. I'm going to do a video on this. I want to do a video on that. But that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, I'm going to lose some weight. I'm going to do this other thing. I'm going to make this happen. I was that guy. Am still that guy to a degree. But changes are happening. Changes have happened. I can see those muddy tracks where I'm pulling out of the place where I was stuck. This thing behind me is part of that. And that's why I'm doing all this rambling right now. The reason I'm building this gym is for me and my son to work on getting unstuck from where we're at. One of the big key components of that is my physical health. Made some major changes in my physical health in the last couple of years. Enormous strides have been made. But other stuff needs to take place. Things that aren't the easy things. It's not easy to start being physically active when you've been sedentary. It's not easy to start eating well when you've been eating garbage. These are the things that I have started doing. I don't like going to a gym someplace. First, I live a really long way from any gyms. You're looking at least a 30-minute drive to get to a gym, 30-minute drive to get back. I'm just not going to do it. I've done that kind of thing before. I've used gyms and been to them and things like that over many times over the course of my life. I just don't like it. I don't enjoy it. I don't like the environment. A lot of people do, and man, I applaud you. If that's your bag, do it. There's a lot to be gained by it, and all the arguments for it are valid. It's just not my thing. The truth is, I don't actually like working out at all. Not even a little bit. It's boring to me. It does not. Yeah, I get that same endorphin rush. I get that second wind thing. I've been a runner before. I get all that, and it's all valid. It's all true. But I just don't enjoy it. What I enjoy doing are things like back when I lived on the island, I used to ride my motorcycle off-road. Man, you want to talk about a workout. Try riding motocross. Holy moly. Probably the biggest thing I do right now that's a physical fitness thing that's really gives you a workout is hunting. Unfortunately, it's not hunting season. Now, this gym, as you'll see, when the equipment that I'm going to put in it and the way that it's going to be used, when I do work out for the sake of working out, it's going to be the kind of things that I like to do and that my son likes to do. My son, he's a certified physical fitness trainer. He led fitness classes in his mother's studio for a very long time, and he was extremely good at it. He was a strag kid. Now lives a very sedentary life like his dad. He's a college student who sits in a chair in front of a computer all day long doing schoolwork. Not the most physically active thing to do in the world. In fact, it's exactly the opposite of that. And he's a young man. He he hates it. He doesn't want to be in the position he's in. He is really looking forward to this thing getting done as well, because both of us enjoy the styles of workouts we'll be able to do in this gym. You know, a lot of the projects that I'm going to be doing are physically active projects, like building this thing, and that in itself is the kind of workout I really enjoy. Unfortunately, there's just not enough activity. There's not enough calorie burn. There's not enough muscle work to do that. I'm not a manual laborer day to day for a job, so there's just not enough there to give me what I need. The lifestyle I live now, unless you inject physical fitness activities into it, things that will help you stay physically active and healthy, it's not going to happen. So I've got to make that happen. So getting unstuck. A few different things that need to happen. One, maintain my diet and improve it. Get physically active. Start doing things that help my musculature and my enhance my body. These are things that's what this project's all about. And then there are a few other things too. And part of that is my behavioral health, my mental health, my emotional health. By and large, I'm a very, very solid guy. I am fairly drama-free, and comparatively speaking, I'd say I'm definitely in the upper half on being good to go. But here's the thing. I'm not as good to go as I choose to be. I need to keep improving me. I want to keep improving me. I want to be the best me that I can be. And I know I can be better. So that's where I'm going. That's what I'm going to do. I'm probably going to cut most of this out because none of this has fuck all to do with that gym back there.